Hi, this is Jill from Jill's Bits of Bites, and I'm going to show you my latest and greatest action. It's called Age and Distress It. There is a video for Photoshop Elements users. There is a slight difference, and both actions come together. If you have Elements, you want to see the other video. This one is for the Photoshop users. There's not a lot of difference. It's just, it's like my daughter used to say, exactly the same, only different. It's somewhat different. Once we get into this, let's get started. The first one is just instructions, tells you what they do, etc., etc. The first thing the first action here is actually the colorize image, and that's if you have like the one you see here on the screen, a full color image that you want to give it kind of a sepia antique look. So let's get started. Now, naturally it tells you if you don't have the image open, open it. And what we're going to do is we're going to colorize this thing using a gradient map adjustment layer. So the gradients, well, we'll get to that. Okay, here it is, gradient map adjustments layer, and we say okay, and up this comes here. And if you installed your gradients ahead of time, good for you. You can pick them, and as you click on them, it changes between them. You can kind of preview them that way, see which one you want to use. Let's go with this one. The action actually comes with 5 gradients, and the gradients are made up from old photos, color pics I took out of these photos. Anyway, if you like what you see, just go ahead and save it, continue on. If you can also stop using the properties panel. If you can't find the panel, come under here and say properties. But you can go back and start picking other gradients. Real simple, right? So let's just continue it. I like it. And save it off the screen. Okay. Yeah, I've played with this a few times. So it's saving over it. Okay. Now I have my colorized version or antique version of my photo. That's it. That's all that particular action does. Now we're going to age it. Okay, and it's going to start the same way, if you don't have it open, open it. Anyway, we have ours open, so we'll continue. Now, one thing I like to do is try to make my overlays in my photos the same pixels per inch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to increase this to 300 pixels per inch. I'm not really changing anything, I'm just sort of rearranging it. I'm not going to try to explain it. Okay, when the dialog comes up, make sure it says 300 and that the resample box is not checked. Say OK. Now the next thing is the place dialog is going to come up, and you're going to go to your daguerreotype overlay that I've provided you 4 of them with this action. There are more available in my store. Hint, hint. So hit continue. Come in here and age it and distress it. Overlays. Okay, so let's pick that one. We place it. And I just say go ahead, accept it, because now I'm going to let you transform it. Now you could have transformed it before and just said, continue, or, not have to worry about it. But anyway, continue, transforms it. If you've already done it, just hit return and it thinks you've transformed it again. Now, one thing you kind of want to do is make sure this goes a little bit beyond the edges of your photo, just to make sure that you don't end up like this over here. As you can see, I'm going to have a hard edge if I leave it like that. So I want to go beyond it. And then just accept it. Now it's time for some magic. And here we go. All right. Now, as you can see, this is kind of an ugly thing. But we're going to add a background to it, and in the process of adding a background where you can add a background color, I'm going to turn off your overlay. Anyway, so continue. Now you'll see this is a fill layer, and it comes up and it says color. I can just say okay, but I really don't want to do that. I want to pick a color, so I just click color again, and up comes my color picker off the screen, right? And then I go over this. As you can see, my cursor has become a dropper. And I just I pick from this so that I'm getting something that's kind of in the same realm as what my photo is, the color. Say okay, okay, and it's filled. And you see this is what you have. Now, you can click stop and you can make some more adjustments. One adjustment you can do is changing the background color, and that's just, as you can see, your properties panel now has the hue saturation, and you can make it darker, you can make it lighter. I kind of like it darker. That's kind of cool. Now, one other thing I discovered in writing this, that there's a way you can play with your mask. So if you click on your mask, make sure it's got the little box around it that it has been selected. If you notice up here in the properties, you can adjust it. You can adjust the density, so you can actually make it to where it isn't quite as harsh, I guess is the way you would say it. So you can see how things get lighter. There's less and less you can see of it. You can play with the feather. I don't quite understand the feather. That just kind of blurs everything. But that's something else you can do that too, as far as adjusting this particular thing. So when you've got what you like, you just continue doing it. It flattens it all up. You can go and you save it up. We save it to our desktop here. Saves on top of it. And you've got your aged and distressed photo. Now, I have a friend, a fellow designer. Her name is Manu. She's from Manu Scraps. And she's one of the people I really love to have, test my actions. Number one, English is not her first language, so she can really find it's really sad, right? She finds my grammatical errors and spelling errors and helps me with that, but also helps me to explain things better. And one of the ways she does that is by pushing my actions to areas where I hadn't intended originally. And in this case, she found a great way to distress papers, and so with her permission, I added another action, and that's the distressed paper, and this is thanks to Manu. So if you enjoy it, you can thank her. Now, this particular action is only for papers, 12 by 12 by 300, and it's pretty cool. Let me show you. I'm going to bring in a paper from one of my retired kits called Fruit Salad Days. So you bring that one in, and like all the others say, yeah, open it up if you don't have it. Now, we're going to place, same thing, you're going to go to your overlays. Now, the overlays are 12 by 12 by 300, so you don't have to do any adjusting after you've already brought them in. All you have to do is accept it. Okay, and now we have our magic thing. And as you can see, it's, got the little transparency in it. Now, this is where things are different. I'm going to place another image, let's see, another paper behind it, and it makes it kind of look like a wallpaper that's being worn away. It's pretty cool. Let's go up here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Actions. Page. Okay, I'm going to use this one. This is another one from Fruit Salad Days. I'm going to place it, accept it, and that's it. You can stop to make adjustments, but as you can see, there's something like, it's like it's showing through, it's worn. And this is where this thing about being able to play with the layer mask is really handy, because here you can play with the density, once again, making sure your layer mask has been selected, but it determines just how much you can see through this thing, see what's below it. Anyway, that's it. I hope you enjoy playing with this thing and still get your work done. Bye.